One person has died and at least 30 persons reported injured from security forces shooting to break up a pro-democracy protest by nurses in Eswatini. The protest took place Wednesday and the 30 injured were among more than 80 hurt in the pro-democracy protests that have flared up across the country once known as Swaziland. The nurses' union accused security forces of using live ammunition. Internet access remained cut off Thursday, making it difficult to gather information from across the country. The latest protests have run for more than 2 weeks, spearheaded by students, civil servants and transport workers. 5 high school students arrested during protests were expected in court Thursday to face terrorism charges over their role in the democracy push. At least 29 people have died since June in some of the worst unrest in the Southern African country's history. The 16-nation Southern African Development Community, SADC, has ordered a team of mediators to the country. They are expected to arrive later on Thursday. Paulina Chiziane is the winner of the Camões Prize 2021. The choice of the Mozambican writer was made unanimously, according to the Portuguese Minister of Culture, Graça Fonseca. For Chiziane, this is an award that she shares with all Mozambicans. Everything that I try to write in the different books, they're all part of our collective memory. I never spoke in the books in my own personal voice. Even in the books where I write in the first person, I am bringing the collective voice. So it's all people who are graced by this great prize. Paulina Chiziane was born in Manjakaze, a humble neighborhood on the outskirts of present-day Maputo, then Lourenço Marques. The writer is very proud to have seen her work recognized by the highest literary award in the Portuguese language. I come from nowhere. I am that person who learned to read and write. I went to school. Oh, she had that luck. Oh, she was also lucky enough to walk around the country and discover the wonders that this country has. Well, I am not exactly that person that you can say has come from a social stratum. So, no, I have come from the ground. And a recognition for someone who's come from nowhere, no doubt, is a reason for inspiration for another generation.
Sem dúvida, é motivo de inspiração para uma outra geração.
The 66-year-old is the first African woman to win the prize. In 1990, she published the book Ballad of Love in the Wind, becoming the first woman to publish a novel in the country. Rival Sudanese protest leaders have urged their supporters to remain peaceful as demonstrations continue over the fate of the country's fragile transition to civilian rule. Opposing factions of the civilian umbrella, Forces for Freedom and Change, including a pro-military splinter group, on Thursday held competing rallies. The streets are the judge among us and they never lie. We are revolutionaries. We will continue to be and we will keep defending the revolution's main goals. If others want price hikes and corrupt people to lead them, or tolerate that people carry out transgressions like during the former regime, then they are free. We're not like them. Some are taken to one street, others are taken to another, and it's different opinions. The Forces for Freedom and Change, FFC's mainstream faction, has supported the government of Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok, while a breakaway faction has demanded the dissolution of the government. Critics allege that members of the military and security forces are driving the pro-army protests. The rising tensions come as Sudan reels from deep political splits. A key port in the eastern part of Sudan has now been blocked for almost 2 weeks. At the origin of the blockade are a people known as the Beja tribes from the eastern part of Sudan. Their claims are clear. They are demanding the cancellation of the peace agreement of 2020 signed between Khartoum and rebel groups from various regions. The agreement reportedly aggravated tribal rivalries when, according to one of the leaders of the protest movement, so-called Beja tribesmen agreed to a section of the agreement concerning the East when they did not represent that part of the country. The origin of the Beja people dates back to 4,000 years BC. Since that time, they've been present in this region. They are Semites, the sons of Cush, the son of Canaan, the son of Noah, and their presence since ancient times in this region led to the work of relations with many countries. Tradition prevails among the Beja. The men wear daggers with curved blades at the waist, both for protection and for traditional dances, while the women live hidden from strangers. Made up of several tribes, the majority speak Badawit, a language derived from Meroitic, which is about 4,000 years old. The Bejawian language is the language spoken by most of the tribes, and there is another language spoken by two tribes called the Tigray language, which is used in the Eritrean coast and borders in a limited area, but most of the tribes speak Bejawi, and the Tigray language, 80% of which is Arabic. To date, their hope for the cancellation of the 2020 agreement rests in the hands of Al-Nazir Tek, the tribal leader of the protesters. With 90% of their population living in rural areas, the Beja numbers nearly 4.5 million, or 1 in 10 Sudanese in 2008. Zimbabwe's main opposition party, the MDC Alliance, has condemned an attack on its leader, Nelson Chamisa. While in his car shortly after a political meeting, Chamisa was reportedly shot at.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the party claims just before the attack, a dozen cars without license plates followed Chamisa's convoy. The party accuses the ruling ZANU-PF of launching the attacks.
ZANU appear to be graduating from a de facto physical ban to elimination, to assassination, attempts. So they are upping the gear, they are upping the ante, because they are more afraid of 2023 than they are of 2018.
ZANU-PF and its supporters, however, accused Chamisa of stage managing the attacks to draw the attention of the international community, allegations the opposition has denied.
Which is why I've called for external refereeing in the form of SADC. We have a duty to protect life, we have a duty to preserve life, we have a duty to make sure that our differences are managed, and they are managed through dialogue.
Political tensions have risen in Zimbabwe ahead of the 2023 presidential elections. Nelson Chamisa is expected to challenge the current head of state, Emmerson Mnangagwa, for the second time.